Welcome back, my little nightmares. This is me, Queen Nightmare, and I'm gonna do part. Well, this is the second video, but I'm doing. I think this is part. Let me count. 1, 2, 3, 4. Part 5. Wait, part 6. Yay. Okay, 6 of 31. Jeez. Okay, it's called Angel Tears, and well, the book's called Shy Boy, but yeah. Angel Tears, let's go. Toby's POV. I sat up abruptly, looking around, everything tinted with a light hue or orange, until I pushed my goggles up onto my head, looking around. I wrapped the blanket around my shoulders and picked my hat up off the floor. With my toes staring at it blankly. Raising a hand to rub my face with. However, when I pulled my hand away, it was met with sticky crimson blood. I bolted up. I sped, walked into my room, and glanced at my pocket-sized mirror, looking at it, scowling as I found my nose bleeding. Well, fuck me, right in the fucking ass. I growl, trying to wipe it off. Heck, what had even happened? Let's see, I fell asleep next to Ben. I heard static and then went black. Narrowing my eyes, I walked from my room and into the spare room Ben was using, only to find his bed empty. Mess and an empty mess. And the said blonde nowhere in sight. Shit, I mumbled, looking around the room once more, before walking away and knocking on the bathroom door. No answer. Ben, I call. When I got no response in return, I began getting worried where he was. Checking every room in the house, I resorted in walking outside and scouting around the area, passing about an hour and a half. Checking the shed area, I knelt down on the floor and checked under the old bikes. What? That's where I'd hide if I was upset or scared. But to my dismay, he wasn't there. Looking up at the top shelf where my old knickknacks were, just some old junk I never used. Standing up, I pulled myself up, standing shakily on one of the bikes, looking at the small crawl space on the wall, finding nothing but an old baseball bat and a football. Jumping down, I sighed softly and walked from the shed, scratching the back of my head. Maybe he upped and left, I suggested to myself. No, you really think a kid in his condition would have the confidence to go out on his own? I spoke back. Sure, I mean, he's small and all, but he's not a wuss. I'll just wait inside for a few hours. Maybe he'll come back. I shrugged. Or maybe he just left because you're a horrible babysitter. Can't even look after yourself, I scolded at myself. While walking into the kitchen, preparing a coffee for myself, I can look after myself just fine, thank you, I hissed, before getting an immediate response. Look at your hair, rat tail greasy. Look at your build, lanky as fuck. Look at your sleeping patterns. Hey, and while you're at it, check out how you smell. Come on, Tobes. You can do better than this. I growl and put my hat firmly on my head, picking up my cup of coffee. Whatever. You're just a figment of my loneliness, I snapped, walking into the living room. Maybe that's why you're so worried. Ooh, does anyone have a man crush on the elf? I sat down on the couch, rolling my eyes. Whatever. I'll do whatever I want. I don't need some kid to look after. On top of everything else, I snorted. What else? You do nothing but sit on your ass or sleep. Not to mention the fact you barely even clean your hatchets or sharpen them. Speaking of your hatchets, I wonder where I put them. I'll look later. I wonder what Leah would think if she saw me like this. Pathetic little Toby Rogers killed his daddy and now sits on the corner and cries like a little bitch. I stared forward blankly, not really being affected by the comments. I do this to myself all the time, so I'm so used to this. I'm reading it like I'm actually saying it to myself, because this is literally me. I could barely remember anything anyway. How's about you just go away and let me sleep? I'll find Ben later, I muttered, setting my cup down and laying on my stomach, wrapping the blanket around myself. Staring at the wall, I suddenly felt a burning sensation in my chest. Curling up under the blanket, I chewed on my nails, feeling myself stutter, twitch more frequently. A small, choking sound escaped my throat from time to time. Was I crying? I honestly couldn't tell. Toby? I shut up, looking around. However, stopped when I found the female blonde sat by the couch staring at me with her warm greenish-brownish eyes looking at me. What's wrong? I blinked rapidly, rubbing my eyes, looking back at her. I stuttered, unable to even pronounce the name. She smiled, reaching a hand and wiping tears from my face. Don't worry, Toby. I'm here. Another choke left me, and I continued staring at her until I shot forward, hugging her tightly. I could touch her. She was actually there. But by now I was on my knees hugging her stomach, crying loudly into her stomach, her gentle hands running through my hair like she'd always been. When I was upset, she knelt down in front of me and smiled. Before hugging me delicately, I tried my best to be gentle since I couldn't really tell how hard I was hugging someone. I closed my eyes, breathing in her scent as I stood and nuzzled her neck, a calming pine-like smell mixed with a salt-like watery type of smell. Wait a minute, that ain't her. I didn't really care. I was just so glad to see Leah again. Lyra? Is it Lyra? I thought it was Leah, his sister's name. Toby. I snapped my eyes open, glancing at her, only to find two red pupils staring at me with an owl-like curiosity. I fucking knew it. I knew it. Just knew it. Staring at me with an owl-like curiosity. I didn't say anything and only hid my face against his neck. His arms slowly hugged me. Having to lean down a little, being adorable, wasn't my only thought, though. I was not letting this is memories. I don't know which one it is. I don't know if it's Link's memory. Not Link. Oh my gosh. I did it. I did what people thought I would do. If it's Toby's memories or Ben's memories. I was not letting this short little prick go. Never in a million fucking years, even if that meant I had to follow him through hell 6 times. Is that a memory, or is that because that's in the same lettering of a memory, or when you're talking inside your head? But, oh well. Okay. Elf Boy. Ben's POV. It'd been about 2 hours of walking around and stalking Link. What? I'd retrieved Toby's hoodie from the salesman, who, as every NPC in this game, demanded a price on it, which I simply punched him in the dick. Oh, gosh. Cool. I mean, same. It's just, let's just say I got it back pretty quickly. Anyway, by now I had just pulled myself from the TV and unfortunately, face planted the floor. Standing up, I torted into the living room only to stop and hear crying. Tilting my head, I walked over and sat in the front of the couch where a hidden bundle of something cried under a blanket. "Toby?" I asked, and I swear I nearly shot up to the roof out of fear when he sat up almost instantly, started staring at me. "Stay calm, Ben. You're good at cheering people up. Remember, it's your nature." Cocking my head to the side, I went by instinct and reached my hand and put my hand on his cheek, wiping the tears away from his eyes. He took a quick glance at my hand before straight back at me. In return, I gave the best smile I could. That was until I found myself pushed back onto my feet with him kneeling in front of me, crying against my stomach. I thought for a moment, not really sure how to go about my next move, but did anyway. Lightly running my nails through his hair as gently as I could, feeling him twitch and let out small choking sound between his sobs, which soon died down as he stood up and hugged me against his chest tightly, nuzzling the side of his neck, nuzzling the side of my neck. I'm ashamed to say I squeaked and felt a rather warm sensation over my cheeks and the tips of my ears. "Toby," I called quietly, in which he glanced at me again, his pupils dilating as he stared at me, before going straight back to hiding against my neck. Sighing, I hugged his neck, nuzzling his shoulder gently. With what was as my mom used to do. Okay, I was like, as my mom used to do for me before she started drugs and prostitution. And she left us with Dad. Hey, Toby, how's about I run you a bath or something and make a warm drink for you, huh? He didn't respond for a while until he slowly nodded. "All right. Well, you go and get some comfortable clothes on and a towel for after, and I'll go do that for you." He nodded once again and squeezed me tightly, making me squeak again. It felt like it should be breaking me in half right now. However, upon finding a few pixels around my stomach and back, I smiled softly and closed my eyes, opening my eyes and finding myself a few feet out of his reach. He stared at me for a while before turning around and stumbling off into his room. Smiling, I looked down at myself, smirking at my newfound ability, something the salesman taught me. Walking around, I soon found an almost untouched bathroom with a bath and shower sat in the corner. Bath/shower sat in the corner. The other essentials needed for a bathroom covered in a light layer of dust. I started the bath, glancing around, and in the cabinet above the sink, grabbed a bottle of shampoo and conditioner, setting them on the edge of the tub. Sitting on the floor and quietly practicing glitching around the room that was until things went bad and I glitched over the tub and with a loud squeal collided with the water. However, I didn't. Slowly opening my eyes, I found 2 arms around my stomach and chest. Following the arms, I found myself staring at Toby, who had an amused smile on my face. "You really don't like water, do you?" he asked, setting me down next to him and the two of us sitting down on the floor. "I told you why," I grumble, hugging my knees. It's nothing to be ashamed of. I have a buddy who freaks out over a candle being lit. Absolutely hates fire. This made me look at him curiously. He got burned a while back with like 4th degree burns, like really bad. Went mad since he had this disorder, which made a dangerous amount of chemicals in his brain make him do violent things towards others. I nodded slowly, shuffling closer to him. As if sensing my curiosity, he continued. "Yeah, I can't remember the name of the disorder, but probably not schizophrenia. Bipolar? No. I don't know what the disorder would be. Probably you guys will do it in the comments, or it will be mentioned soon. Yeah, I can't remember the name of the disorder, but it's definitely there. He still has it, the urge to do violent things to others. I think you two would get along, honestly. Not because of that, just because I see a connection between you two." Oh boy, he didn't sound like he liked that. I prefer to keep my head and stay safe here. He nodded slowly before glancing at the water, turning the faucets off, standing up, and being the childish person. I don't know what it is. This house makes that was me, but this house makes noises. Turns the faucets off. Where the heck did that go? Okay, standing up and being the childish person he turned me around and slid me across the floor on my ass until I was outside the room, smiling cheekily at me before slowly closing the door, the two of us repeatedly whispering bye or peace, until the door was fully closed, and as soon as it was, I stood up and looked around grinning. All right then, let's get your chill out skills in gear. Okay. How far along am I in my video? I'll do another one. Well, should I? Because my dad's coming soon. How about we end it here today? I know it's short, but my dad's coming, and he doesn't know I have a YouTube channel. He doesn't know that I have a YouTube channel doing fanfiction because he's a religious nut. I'm saying that in a nice way. I mean, I could call him so many different words. He's just so religious, and he hates gays. I'm, as you can tell, one of my first ones was Dreary, as you can tell. So I'm not like him in a good way. But I'm going to say this to you guys. If you ever have a problem with anxiety or depression or something like you're not understood by your parents, I'm here for you. Because if you're treated like that, like what my dad doesn't think depression's a thing. He just thinks, oh, you just need to be happy and get over it. That's what my dad literally thinks. So, be in my shoes sometime. And my dad, I know I'm on a rant, but I really want to tell you what it's like I'm here. So, like, whatever, you remember, if you know the story of Sally, she was sexually abused by her uncle and then murdered. If you are abused in any way, sexually, physically, whatever, emotionally, you have someone to talk to. I'm here for you. I can't really say that I was sexually abused, but I'm here for you if you need to talk. Because I am that type of person that will listen to you no matter what. Because you have something to say, then I'm going to be here to listen to it. Because someone shouldn't be shot down because of something that happened. And I'm sorry that happened to you if it ever happened to you. Okay, guys. Also, my socials are down there. It's always down there. I have my Discord that you can contact me on, Instagram. I don't have my Facebook down there. I do have my my Twitter, both of my Twitters. I'm barely posting anything because there's nothing interesting in my life. But thank you guys for watching. Be happy, be healthy, and always be loving. Thank you for just being amazing human beings. Love you so much. Stay safe, stay healthy, and always be loving. Bye-bye. Love you.